Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Utah Homes HQ Live, your source for all things real estate on YouTube in northern Utah. It's just going to be me today. BJ made the wise decision to take his family and run south. It's April 4th, 2023, and we're in the tail end of a massive snowstorm that we simply cannot tolerate, nor do we deserve. But here we are. Still digging out, and it's super cold and very snowy, but no need to worry. Next week, the warm temperatures will come back, and we'll all wash away, and we'll be able to start with a clean slate. Hopefully that's not the case. Anyways, today I wanted to take a minute and talk about Utah is known for growth. We're not the biggest state by population, not even close. I think we're pushing towards 3.5 million in the entire state. When you get to the East Coast and well, really the coastlines anywhere, I mean, we couldn't even fill up some of the major metropolitan areas with the entire population. And if you're new to Utah or considering coming to Utah, the vast majority of those numbers are all from Utah County, which is just south of Salt Lake County, then Salt Lake itself, and then Davis County, and then Box Elder, Weber County, and then Box Elder. So really along that I-15 corridor is where all of us really are. So today I wanted to talk about an article about which counties grew the most in Utah in 2022. You'll probably find that a lot of these articles that we're going to reference, we use KSL, which is probably the biggest local news source in the state, but we're going to use a lot of others as well. In fact, I've got some other websites with some links of some stories that that are going to be important to our discussion. And but KSL, we use that quite a bit. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that the URL is so stinking easy to remember. Versus a lot of the other ones. But let's jump into some of the data. Now, I'm not just going to read through this line for line. I've read through it. I just want to kind of pick on some of the highlights of what we're looking at. So this study is based on July 1, 2021 to July 1 of 2022. And so that's where the data is all coming from. So Tooele County, now, if you can, let me highlight this. We have a few areas in Utah with really weird names that nobody can phonetically determine how to pronounce them. Most people not from our area are going to name this Twilly or something. I've heard a variety of things, which would make sense. You aren't to be blamed for that. But we say it here, Tooele. This is west of Salt Lake. It has grown dramatically. All of these areas that kind of border the metropolitan centers, if we can call it that, have grown quite a bit in the last 10, 15 years. But Tooele, by percentage, grew the most out of all of our 29 counties at 4.2%, which means about 4.2 people moved there. I'm kidding, of course. But I don't know, a handful of people. Utah County, and when we talk about absolute growth, 16,000 residents moved to Utah County, or it grew by 16,000. Some of them, they moved there because they were born. They didn't really have much of a choice. Utah County, especially on the northern end, as it meets up with Salt Lake County, is a heavy tech sector. And you can see it as you drive through I-15. I think Texas Instruments just announced a ton of new jobs, high-paying jobs in the old Micron facility. You've got Adobe, which is right in their evil fortress-looking building. It just sits right over the I-15 as you come into Utah County heading south. And so it's, anyways, a tremendous amount of growth through that corridor. So this moves Utah County up to about 700,000 people for the first time live in Utah County. This will surprise nobody that Salt Lake County remains the most populated county, is about almost 1.2 million residents. However, that being said, this is a slight decline with people that lived there. This article, it's worth a read. So you've got local census data that is conflicting with National Census Bureau data, and they try and explain that away. Who's to say? I'm not a census or statistic expert. I simply live here and observe things for my own, mostly in our Davis and Weber County areas. But it looks like in this time frame that we're discussing, the Beehive State, which is Utah, I think everybody knows that, hopefully. And if not, you do now. We gained about 42,000 residents from July 21 to 22, which is just about a 1.2 increase, which put us in the 10th percentage increase among the 50 states. I constantly see all these articles that Utah is leading the nation in percentage growth, but this article would say that that's not the case. I don't know. I'm not going to hunt that down, but I do know we have a lot of people moving here, and we're growing. Get to that here in just a second. So we've got Tooele that jumped the 4.2%. A county I've never heard of up in eastern Washington, though, they grew the most by percentage, just over 10%. What was I going to hit? Weber County does get mentioned on here. Weber County, which is where this office is right now. I'm in downtown Ogden recording this video. We grew by a cute 3,000 people. That doesn't seem like a lot. I don't know what my expectations were, but that seems, if I were to guess, I would have guessed a higher number than that. Okay, so there's another couple things. Oh, look, we've got more charts and graphs. We love charts and graphs on the channel, if you've watched our other episodes. I was surprised. I haven't spent much time in Arizona, practically none. Maricopa County, though, gained 56,000 people, almost 57,000 people. That's crazy. This article, from what I'm reading, doesn't really go into the details as to why. It's probably to get out of this stinking winter. Okay, here's an important thing to note, though. And this is really... So, 25 of Utah's 29 counties experience natural increases. We make a lot of babies in Utah. This bucks the trend, as it states here. Near 3 out of 4 U.S. counties ended up with natural decreases in 2022. Across the globe, we may have future episodes about this. It's fascinating. Across the globe, we are decreasing our number of babies. In some countries, they're begging their citizens to make some babies, even offering some financial incentives. Okay, of course, Utah County led the way with 8,662 babies. It's a lot of Pampers. Okay, so this is where it gets into a little bit of, why are the two different sides so different? And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. The point of the matter is we are seeing growth, but we also are seeing some declines in our most populated area. One thing that we can come down here a little bit. So you do see areas like California and New York saw a lot of people leave. There's a lot of anecdotal explanations for that, political climates coming out of COVID, taxation. I mean, there's been a lot of celebrities that have left these areas. Could be true. I don't know. I haven't talked to a lot of people that essentially have been political or tax refugees from those areas that had to come out to Utah because they just couldn't deal with those environments anymore. I haven't had personal experience with that, but you see these things on social media and certain news outlets. Could very well be true. There was another little point here I wanted to get to. This does talk about some of the anecdotal evidence. They'll continue to study these things for years to come. There was one thing. Where did it go? I wanted to talk about housing affordability. So talking about several factors. I don't discount this. Interesting story. I had a client. We had clients that a little over a year ago, they loved living here, but they had an opportunity for his job. He'd become a pilot to move to a community north of Houston. So their little home, I'm trying to remember the numbers here. Now, this was really in the heat of things last spring. Things were still really cooking. So their little home in Roy, Utah, we're going to say it's 1,800 square feet. We ended up selling that for $450,000. It was a bi-level home. We have a lot of those, so they're kind of interesting floor plans in some cases. This worked out pretty good. Had a really nice sized garage backed up to one of our train lines. They were able to move to the Houston area, a brand new construction home that was twice the size as their home here, and they paid $350,000 for that. A lot of people have seen these things. I've seen multiple people that have moved to the Georgia area or Atlanta, Savannah areas. Certainly with remote working possibilities, people are looking for decreasing their cost of living. So why wouldn't they go and move somewhere else where it's a lot cheaper? This makes a lot of sense to me. So anyways, we are growing. We're going to continue to grow. There are projections that are going to dang near double our population. I don't know. We're going to have to talk about some of these things of what we're going to do, certainly considering our water, the stress on our water systems, our infrastructure, roadways. We're building roads at an alarming pace, but, will it be enough? There's a lot of great reasons to live here in northern Utah, and people are coming and people are staying overall. So let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of the channel. Let me know what you think of things that you want us to talk about. We'll continue to get better and better at this. This is a lot of fun to do, but it's certainly a skill set that we're going to continue to improve upon. So I think that's it. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.